how are you? Which one is not working? On your first
I didn't donate because I donated to the cat. Did you donate to the cat?
Where are you going? I mean, it's not even started yet. I mean, we were getting calls like this.
We've got the AAHOA wants us to get all the tools we give to the big hotels, not all the independents. A lot of hotels are in trouble with the clients takes off. The good thing that we do is that we will program it just to
You do? Oh, deal, baby. Yeah, that's good. Good. All right, I can send you a meal for you at least.
Alright, So we have to have a debrief after.
We have to have a couple of meetings. We don't really usually it takes 2 or 3 days.
Barely? Okay. All right. Good evening. As most of you know, my name is Biren Patel, and I'm the Regional Director of our North Texas region. I would like to welcome and thank all of you for coming today and attending our North Texas Conference and Trade Show. I would like to start by thanking our sponsors, HBO for sponsoring our lanyards, Wyndham for sponsoring our dinner tonight, and Expedia and Public Law Consultants for sponsoring our educational seminars. Next, I'd like to thank my team of North Texas ambassadors for all the help they do throughout the year. As I call your names, please stand so I can recognize you. Nisha Auntie, Hillary, Mito, Mayor, Ethan, and Ryan. 3 of our ambassadors this year. 3 of our ambassadors today could not make it. Now I'd like to call up TJ so he can just tell you about the Premier Ambassador Program real quick.
We know that our ambassadors do a lot for the success of the association. This year we started a new initiative to bring in a couple more members and to make sure that this regional was as successful as it could be. So we introduced a new program called the Premier Ambassador Initiative, where the ambassador who did the most to help increase the attendance and make this regional successful would receive a one-of-a-kind Premier Ambassador Polo. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Mayor Patel as North Texas' first ever Premier Ambassador.
To recognize the past chairman and board of directors from our region. As I call your name, please stand to be recognized. Our chairman from 2 years ago, Mehul Mike Patel. Our past officer and board of directors, Amar Uncle, Ketan Uncle, Suresh Uncle, Surakanti, Bud Uncle.
All the hotel owners and our resources, it makes sense to partner up with organizations that believe in the same topics. And it's important that we go educate these folks that represent us Because there's a lot of things and issues that they do have.
A lot from our own people and a lot from the membership. Every day in America, some government, somewhere, is coming up with an idea that impacts the hospitality industry. Whether it's occupancy tax increases, property, the very existence of our business model. Everywhere we turn, the truth is our industry is under attack. And when we are attacked, who's going to stand up for the hotel owners? AAHOA, directly with elected officials from virtually every state. We are the hotel owners' defense against bad policy.
I believe AAHOA's membership is the best value of any trade association in America.
As a business owner, it gives me an opportunity to meet people that I wouldn't otherwise meet in this industry. As a woman, I get exposure to other female hoteliers that have been here before, and I get to learn from their experiences. And I get to be part of an organization that's really making an impact.
With trusted vendor partners.
The benefit of AAHOA is meeting new customers that I've never met before and creating relationships that will hopefully last the rest of my time in the company.
It's been phenomenal. It's kind of short. Preference for you, Jimmy, yes. Thanks everybody for being here tonight. This is our 4th regional meeting that we've had this year, and by far, not even close, the largest. In fact, if everybody that's in if everybody that were in the bar would come down here, it'd be even standing room only. Next year, I told the chairman we're going to get buckets of beer, but we're only going to put them on the front tables. Yeah. Apparently that wasn't that popular. Thanks guys, again, on a serious note, thank you for being here. You showing up and taking part in these events shows the true strength of AAHOA, and it is great to see so many people here. You know, unfortunately for the regional or the officers and myself, we travel the country, and a lot of you only get to see once, maybe twice a year. But it's always a joy to be here in North Texas, even when it's over 100 degrees. We like to be here, and so thanks for filling this room. You know, as AAHOA members, we recognize that our enormous strength can do a lot of things for our industry and a lot of things for our members. But we also need to make sure that we have good partners, because as strong as you are, as large as you are, you still got to have partnerships to get things done in this world. And one of our best partners anywhere in the country are our convention and visitors bureaus. And joining us today is a gentleman that represents you extremely well right here in the city of Dallas, Brad Kent, and his title is Senior Vice President of Sales and Services, and Chief Sales Officer is responsible for the overall direction and supervision of the Dallas CBB convention sales and service efforts. Mr. Kent spent 26 years in the hotel industry in senior leadership roles with Wyndham Hotels and Resorts and Hilton Hotels Corporation. Please let's give a warm AAHOA welcome to the Senior Vice President of Sales and Services for the Dallas CBB, Brad Kent.
Well, good evening. Come on. A little loud here. So it is great to be around hotel folks. I truly enjoyed many years I spent in the hotel business. I started as a desk clerk with Hilton Hotels and ended up being Senior Vice President of Sales for Wyndham Hotels. It was a great ride. And I moved to Dallas in 1999, and I've come back 8 months ago to lead the sales effort for the Dallas CBD, and there's just a lot of great things going on that I want to share with you. But I really liked what you talked about with advocacy, because I've had a chance in the past 2 years to go to DC as the chair of the International Association of Exhibitions and Events, which are very, very important to Dallas, and the lobby on Capitol Hill so that we do everything we can to keep bringing large events to Dallas and create compression all throughout the city. So can you pull up the first slide? Just want to bore you with some great statistics. Dallas is on a real roll here. Dallas is lift, affordable room rates, the labor costs, the things there's so many things to do in Dallas. 4th fastest growing city in the nation. As you can see, visitor volume in the Metroplex area was at 50 million visitors last year, a record. And in Dallas, that was about 50% of that at 24.9 million visitors. And that is just fabulous because demand is driving things up. We had We are 50%, Dallas is 50% ahead of the Texas averages in growth, and we're ahead of the national averages in growth on occupancy. And as you can see here, the occupancy increased 5.1%, but the spend went up 3.6% as well. So we're very proud of the fact that people are coming, they're spending money here. There's a lot more to do in Dallas. The downtown area is terrific, and obviously that just continues to spread as there's more and more entertainment, more and more places for people to stay. And I was thrilled to hear that there's more hotels being developed by our friends here downtown, and we're looking forward to helping you fill those. So, next slide. The nice thing has been that room demand's been rising about a little over 5%, but supply has stayed pretty flat. And that has helped room rates go up quite a bit. As we all know, greater demand, supply staying flat is just great for all of us as far as yielding higher room rates and stuff. We've obviously had things like college football playoffs and Super Bowl and Final Four and all of these things. And what we found, we did something with college football this past January with Sprint and AT&T, and we followed Oregon and Ohio State played each other, and we followed their cell phones over the weekend from Thursday to the game on Monday. And as we saw, you can see where the cell phones moved around, where they stayed, and everything from Arlington to Frisco and Plano and Irving and all the areas around Dallas. You were able to see where and then zoom in and find those addresses. And hotels were filling up, and we could see movement to museums and restaurants and stuff during the day, and then follow it all to AT&T Stadium. So we do know that the more we bring events in, 28% of what we're bringing in is large sporting events right now, 24% is big trade shows. So we have seen the effect of compression.
North Carolina and Florida and Pennsylvania and many other places. But I think you can attest to the fact, as AAHOA members here in the state of Texas, that we have no greater friend anywhere in the United States than the Texas Hotel and Lodging Association. The work that they do on your behalf, along with AAHOA, makes Texas perhaps the best place to be a hotel owner. And most of those successes are at the hands and the work and the drive of one gentleman who needs no introduction to this crowd, but he's kind enough to join us tonight. Please welcome and give a very warm AAHOA welcome to the President and CEO of the Texas Hotel and Lodging Association, Scott Joslove.
All right, I'm fresh from the Texas legislature that finished meeting, and I want to give you your top 10 as to what happened. You know, AAHOA's strategy is the same strategy that we have at the Texas Hotel and Lodging Association. We look at over 7,000 pieces of legislation that are offered every session, and we look at whether or not it's going to cost you money, save you money, or whether it's going to affect your investment. That's the standard. We look at every bill, and we look at our entire program is geared to protect you and to promote those values. Let me tell you what we were able to accomplish in partnership with our 68-member board that I'm proud to say has 20 Asian American operators within our 68-member board. Not bad. Accomplishment number one of the biggest bills that we pay as business owners in Texas is Texas's version of a corporate income tax. Do you know what I'm talking about? The franchise tax or corporate margin tax. That tax is 1% of all the revenue that you take in. You can deduct out your cost of goods sold, which typically for hotels is labor. But that's capped at no more than 30%. So you're stuck with a 1% tax on all of your revenue minus that cost of goods. We were able to, we said there's an $8 billion surplus at the Texas legislature. It's time for a tax cut for the lodging industry. We proposed a 25% reduction in the franchise tax to take it from 1% to 0.75%. I'm proud to report you got it. That'll begin with your next year's franchise tax, and this, in my estimation, is a good start. We're going to look at every legislative session how we can lower that franchise tax, maybe with an ultimate goal. I'd like to say my last action as CEO will be to announce we've repealed the franchise tax in Texas. All right, second item. In order to have business in Texas, we need to market that we are one of the most beautiful and prolific places for leisure and for business from across the country. We have that Texas is like a whole other country campaign, very successful, but it only works if we have funding. Typically, we get $30 to $34 million to promote Texas as a destination. That's what brings everybody to the Dallas Metroplex area and areas throughout the state. We depend on that marketing to get Texas and all of our areas marketed for hotel and tourism activity. Because of the economy, we said it's time to bump that up. We went for a 30% increase in tourism funding. Third item, a lot of us do $800 million in economic activity would pick another destination than come to Texas and pay hundreds of dollars in taxes just to stay here when they can stay other places. There were 7 proposals to eliminate the 30-day exemption and tax all those guests at 7 to 17.5%. We defeated all of them. Wage setting bills. You need to realize, you saw what happened in Los Angeles, you saw what happened in Seattle. We're not against paying great wages to employees. We just don't want that determination to be made by who? Local governments. We think that we're in the best position to work with the federal minimum wage and to look at what we need to pay in our local markets. We all pay above minimum wage, but we don't want a city council or a mayor telling us what we need to pay our employees. There were 4 cities that tried to repeal. Texas is one of the few states that has a law. We got passed 10 years ago anticipating this as a problem. We passed a law that said cities and counties in Texas cannot set the wages of the private sector. Cities and counties cannot. If they want to set their own wages for their staff, good on them. But they cannot set the wages for the lodging industry or any other private sector business. There were 4 attempts to repeal that law this session. We defeated all 4. Finally, I want to tell you about a couple of other mandates that they proposed. There were proposals that for every hotel that has a swimming pool, 24-hour access had to be, you had to provide 24-hour lifeguard service. Whenever your pool was open, you had to have a lifeguard there for every pool in Texas. We defeated it. For every hotel that has a breakfast, you were going to have to not only have a person who had a food handler license, but they had to have separate CPR training. Apparently they thought everybody choked on everything they ate. Okay? And so, separate CPR training. We thought that was beyond the pale. We defeated that. And finally, workers' compensation coverage. Texas is one of the only states in the country where you have a choice. How do I insure and provide for workers' compensation? You can self-insure or you can buy workers' compensation coverage. You have that choice. You still not have that choice. Those are your major activities. We, again, we're proud and we always report that we have, for 15 years, defeated every single bill that the industry has opposed. We have passed every single bill for 15 years that the industry has advocated. And we take that very, very seriously. Every bill we look at there at the legislature, we make sure that we're protecting everybody's interests who does business as a lodging operator. I want to take one more opportunity. The Dallas CBB did a wonderful presentation. All of you that have hotels within the city of Dallas that have over 100 rooms, the CBB mentioned that there's a Dallas Tourism Public Improvement District. I came to you 3 years ago and said they're looking at creating a district. I want you to understand what that means for all of your operations. There's been a tendency by city councils to use up every bit of money they can to try to fund municipal operations on the backs of hoteliers. And what we've learned is wherever they have the availability in the hotel tax rate, they'll pass another rate for a trolley or for an arts district or an infrastructure district or for, the list goes on and on and on. What we decided in Dallas 3 years ago was let's get ahead of this, create our own district that's specifically geared to create business for hotels. Get the city council to bless that instead of doing all these programs that we get nothing from in return. Well, I'm proud that 3 years later, we got a 9-member board, small, medium, and large hoteliers. We have an Asian American hotelier. I know, Mehul, you were part of the introductory members on that board. We're looking now for a new Asian American hotelier who has over 100 rooms, who has properties in Dallas. Please talk to Biren, your regional director for the Dallas area, if you'd like to serve in that capacity. We're going to be looking at that, filling that position. But the good news is this: after 3 years, every dollar that they expend out of this district has yielded over $17 in room nights. Do you have a single city program or other program?
Thank you, Scott, for what you and your team do on a daily basis for our state level and a local level to protect our industry. We really appreciate it. Next, I'd like to introduce Dina Patel, who is our female Director of Large, and Reena Patel, who is on our Women's Committee, to give an update on our Women's Conference that's coming up this October.
Thank you, Biren. I want to thank and recognize all the female that are here supporting AAHOA. And like Biren said, I want to take a moment to update you on the first Women Conference in Dallas. It's going to be October 3rd and 4th, and it will be a day-and-a-half event, which will include interactive session, entertainment, panel session, breakout session, and you'll be able to meet female in the hospitality industry.
And most importantly, we will have so many network opportunities, not just for women in Dallas, but from neighboring states like, or neighboring cities like San Antonio, Austin, Oklahoma. So we look forward to seeing all of you there just to have fun. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate what you all do for the association, and you know, nobody knows how much.
Okay, all right, thank you. Well, thank you, Mary, and thank you to the